GFNF. I'm with Marty, FBA Marty, and Zach. You guys want to say what's up?
What up, fellas? How we doing?
What's poppin', GFNF?
So, look, we threw together we're calling it A2Z podcast. I don't know how many episodes we'll do. It's not structured. The pure goal of this podcast is just to bring as much value to guys who are selling on Amazon right now, primarily like through FBM, doing vinyls, Legos, that type of selling, and are looking to like actually scale it into a functional online arbitrage business. And so Marty, Zach, these are the two of the most successful guys I know on Amazon right now who have done just that. They are actively selling online arbitrage product on Amazon and scaling their businesses. And so we're just going to talk to them, kind of pick their brains, see how they took that approach, what they think is best for you guys who are trying to take the same approach, and then kind of just move on from there. So you guys down?
Yeah, let's
Awesome.
do it.
Marty, do you just want to like start us off, kind of tell us how long you've been on Amazon, what you're up to?
Yeah, of course. So, what's up, guys? My name is Marty. The Instagram handle is FBA Marty. And I've currently been selling on Amazon for about, I want to say like 14 to 15 months. So, I started in August of 2021. And so there was a guy, shout out to his handle is at Jerry Lou on Instagram. Shout out to Jerry Lou. He had a $40 book flipping course, and me and my buddy Joe, another handle I'm gonna drop,
Let's
Amazing
go, Joe.
Mason. Shout out to Joe. Me and Joe were following Jerry for like the longest time, and so Joe actually hit me up and he's like, "Yo, I actually bought Jerry's course for book flipping," and he's like, "In a week, I've already done my first sale." He's like, "This is legit. Definitely check it out, and it's on sale right now. So go buy his course." So I bought his $40 course, and that kind of just like started. That really started my FBA journey. I literally remember the first thing I actually flipped. It was like a Dark Souls 3, the video game. It
Yeah.
was like a guide. Yeah, it was like a guidebook for that game, and I bought two of them for like $40 a pop from Amazon. And I sold both of them in like a week or two for like $140. So
Back on
once
Amazon?
I saw yeah. So once I saw that orange bar, I was like, holy shit, and like this is real. Like you can really make some good money doing this. So I got my proof of concept, and yeah, I stuck with books and used books, stuff of that nature. I was doing like some seasonal Lego sets, stuff like that. And then I finished school, and I went home. And now that I'm working, I have a salary, and I'm not in school anymore. I have time to dedicate into Amazon as well as capital with my salary. So once I kind of made that switch, I've really made the jump to online arbitrage and just doing a whole lot more of like replenishable products, uh, different categories like beauty, electronics, health and household, you name it. So yeah, that's my story with FBA so far.
That's awesome. Zach, you want to introduce yourself?
For sure. It's good, GFNF. My name's Zach. Some of you might know me as Z Sods in the Discord. I've been in GFNF since like
As early
like
as it gets. Yeah.
Yeah, like beginning of like 2020. Just joined as a member. One of the first Discords I started like really making friends in and like networking in like a couple years ago. Became good friends with a bunch of the admins and owners, and yeah, so I started off reselling. I started like end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I just started going to thrift stores and garage sales because I got into this stuff from like Gary V's content, and at the time he was preaching like garage sales and thrift stores if you had no money. So I literally started with like $150. I dropped out of college my sophomore year, came home um to live like back with my parents for like my junior year. Started working at this place in my town. There's this wing place delivering wings and shit. Started doing garage sales and thrift stores at the same time. as I was doing that, eventually I had my first week that I made more money with garage sales than I did at the delivery job. So I quit on spot. Definitely like was not the move, but like it fired me up to really like get into this stuff. Um, that first year I did like about 100K in sales just from thrift stores and garage sales, legit picking up stuff for $1, $3, $5 and flipping it back on eBay for 15, 20 plus shipping. Around April 2021, that's when I first got into Amazon. I tried to open up an account before that when I was like 6, 7 months into eBay, and that was going well. This was like mid 2020. And my account just got like banned, just deactivated overnight for like I couldn't figure out the reason until like a year and a half later, which like brings us to like April 2021 when I got my Amazon account back. And all I had to do was I didn't like verify my address correctly when I first opened the account. So what if anyone has this problem? Talk to like some people in GFNF about this like over the last couple of years. If you have a problem with like your account getting deactivated, it could most likely be like an address verification issue. And what I found out I had to do was send a utility bill or like a phone bill,
Yeah.
just proving like I live where I live. So like basically 2 years into reselling, I got into Amazon. And then over the last 3 years, I've done a little over like 3.2 million sales across like Amazon, eBay, and Facebook. All online arbitrage. And 2023's goal is basically move the business to 100% wholesale. But yeah,
That's awesome.
that's a little bit of that, Zach.
Yeah, Zach and I have been boys like for so long. I think Garrett introduced me to Zach, and then Zach's just been like, he's just been a key. He's almost been like a consultant to GFNF, I'd say, unofficial consultant for 2 years. Like Zach, we've always gone to NFT stuff. We were always asking Zach about NFT stuff. Like, I mean, back a year ago, I remember we hadn't talked to Zach in a few months because swimming pools had died, and that was the last time we had talked to Zach. So like, Zach's always been just like a key asset. He's always had his staff role, and he's a very positive guy. So, what I was explaining to like Zach and Marty is, so many of you guys are in a point right now where you're buying like Vince's vinyl calls, you're buying Legos, and we crush it with those posts. Like there's nobody better that will post vinyl leads and Lego leads. But now the goal for a lot of you, especially moving into this new year, is like, how can you scale your online arbitrage business? And that's exactly what Marty and Zach spent a large majority of 2022 doing. So do you guys kind of want to explain, Marty, you can start like what your strategy was when you kind of had to take a leap from like, yeah, you had some consistent leads, but now you're trying to find your own products to move?
Yeah. So what, more so just like advice to get into like more replenishable products?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And like even just
yeah.
basics like sourcing your own products, because that's a very fundamental aspect of Amazon that a lot of our guys aren't necessarily familiar with.
Got you. Honestly, for me, like the biggest thing is really just like consistency, just staying consistent. Taking it easy on yourself, like being realistic and knowing that, okay, like anything in life, like you're not going to just start out and be crazy good at something. Like just like Amazon, you're not going to start out Amazon and just instantly be able to find 5 profitable products just like that. Like it's not going to happen. But just making sure that you put in like an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever the hell you want it to be. Just make sure that you're staying consistent. You're looking for these profitable products. Honestly, something that really helped me too is just networking with other people. Like really just like chopping it up with, you guys, McKay, Zach, homies and other Discords, just people on Instagram, stuff of that nature. There really is power in numbers. I truly believe that. And it's not even just like, the more people you talk to, like you're going to give them leads, they're going to give you leads. Like, yeah, that's going to happen. But it's also like, there's going to be, it could be something as simple as someone hitting you up and saying, oh, hey, by the way, like, GameStop is having like a 20% off sale right now, or like Target has like a buy two get one free off like video games or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
There it really is like your network is your net worth. It's cliche, but that's like probably been like the biggest lesson that I've learned in 2022 is, just surround yourself with people that are doing better than you, and you're going to become what you surround yourself with.
Yeah,
So
that's a great point. So we're recording this on January 1st, and we just had a few guys in our Amazon Success channel, Zach and Marty, post their bars for the first year. And we have guys posting like 200K, 500K, 750K. And it's like those guys, for members, those guys were crushing it a year ago. Like those guys were on Amazon a year ago. And so what you don't see is what Marty just said, like the consistency. Those guys were doing Amazon before many of us were. And those guys are building a network of guys who, it's not like a transactional conversation they're having with their buddies on Discord. It's meaningful relationships that they're building, like me, Zach, and Marty have, where they're in constant communication, like a group of friends online who just all want to be successful. And that's, once you take it from that approach, it's not some transactional conversation you're having with people to get this sale and this coupon code and this cash back. It's far more than that. That's the strategy all those guys have taken. And whether they're doing wholesale or online arbitrage, leads are leads, and the same strategy applies to both. So I think that's a really great point.
I just want to add one thing, building off what you just said too. Like the other thing I learned too, man, is that like the Amazon FBA community as a whole, it's one of the most like just friendly, down to earth group of people I've ever met. So like the biggest advice I could give for anyone that's like really trying to like take Amazon serious, make an Instagram account solely dedicated for your Amazon business. Put a picture of your face as your profile picture. Don't have it as just like some random like,
NFT.
Don't have an NFT as your pro pic. But just shoot the shit with people that sell on Amazon. Just DM people, slide up on people's stories, just whatever. Just build those meaningful relationships because the community is great. It really is.
It's funny you say that because Zach and I come from an industry, like Zach's so familiar with sneakers and sneaker groups where it's the exact opposite. It's literally like my bot will do better than your bot. I will run more tasks. I will hit more than you. And it's Amazon's the complete opposite. And it's like, it's actually more enjoyable when it's like Amazon, when it's like, sure, there's the competitive nature that we all saw with sneakers, but it's so fun being able to like root for your friends and keep in touch with your buddies who you've met through it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Zach, what do you think? Like, what's your approach? What was your approach in 2022, and how are you gonna just like kill 2023?
Yeah, so definitely my approach for 2022 was with Amazon. First 8 months, I was heavy into NFTs. So basically, first 8 months of 2021, I really wasn't even selling on Amazon like that heavy. I was doing like 10, 20K a month in sales, but all replens. Like I wasn't sourcing or anything. For 2023, so like definitely almost the biggest thing with Amazon is, well, first you have to learn the basics, like 100%. You need to learn how to manual source, reverse source, just like learn the Amazon dashboard yourself. And then like once you learn the basics, the most important thing is networking, hands down. Like McKay was saying, a lot of you guys are familiar with like the sneaker Discord community or even the NFT Discord community. And how those operate is like you can only get connected with someone if you post a fat success pic and like you just made 50 ETH, or if you hit 100 pairs of sneakers. It's not really like that with Amazon. The best, most tactical advice I'd say for Amazon specifically when you're first getting into it, find people that are on that same ground floor level as you and just build with them. And that is like a huge thing I wish I knew in the beginning. I never even really hopped on calls like this. I was a big fan of networking, but within like Discords. Like I would never hop on a Zoom call with someone. Up until like a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, let's run it. But it's super important to like get your, like Marty said, like make an Instagram, get involved in the community, because Amazon's different from like NFTs and sneakers, where like people don't want to share their info because like they want to take the stock. Like Amazon, 60% of e-commerce is done on Amazon. So they're doing $1 billion in sales a day, or like something like that.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
It's like they have like over 250 million products on the website. It's just there really is enough room for everyone to eat.
Yep.
And like getting into Amazon, like you might feel like at first, like, oh, blah, 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 like I don't want to share a lead, or like this, they're like, I might not be able to like get on this listing if there's like this many sellers. Like it's certain listings on Amazon that could be 300-400 sellers.
Yeah.
And
the stuff won't matter.
Rips. Yeah. So it's definitely about learning the basics yourself and finding a group of friends that you could build side by side with. I think those are like basically the most important things. And you'll hear everyone that makes Amazon content basically say that same stuff. Learn the basics, find a group of homies.
Yeah.
It's just so crucial. And then consistency. And it's just like consistency. Like you're not going to do 100K in sales if you're not buying inventory every day and spending at least 30, 40, 50, 60K on inventory. Like that's another big thing. Even like recently, I'm like, oh, blah, 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 my sales are down. Like your sales are down because your spend is down.
Yeah.
Like the only way you're doing 100K in sales if you spend half that on inventory or whatever the case may be. That was like a huge like barrier, I guess, like for myself. It really, all it is just doing the basic shit, learning it, and then just stacking it over and over every single day. Like it's really not I dropped out of college. Like I almost failed out of high school. Like I had no like real world credentials before I started this shit. I just like took it mad seriously and just like didn't take no for an answer. And really, definitely what's helped me most is my network. Hands down. Like I wouldn't be 10% of where I am today if it wasn't for the people I've met on like Discord and Twitter. Gotta put yourself out there. And even if you don't want to put yourself out there, like I didn't want to put myself out there in the beginning, but like there's ways to network nowadays. Like you just DM people on Discord and Twitter all day. Like that's literally that's how I made all of my friends in the e-com space. I haven't hopped on calls up until like 2 months ago. Now I'm like starting to do it a lot. But it's really just no excuse for anything. Like at all. Like if you're trying to get into Amazon, fucking leave your excuses at the door. That's the biggest thing. Like it's not too saturated. It's not this, it's not that. It's just like you got to work harder. Really, in my opinion.
All right, a few things I extracted from you guys. So first is the conversation of like not getting ahead of yourself. I think it's so easy to do that. I did that when I started. Like the idea that you just want to buy, just buy everything you see, hire some VA to do all the dirty work for you without learning the fundamentals and thinking you're going to scale quickly is not how to do it. Like anyone who tried that, it does not work. You'll find good leads, sure. You'll have a VA, sure. But like all that is a title. And if you don't have the fundamental knowledge to train a virtual assistant on how to properly manage your Amazon store or find leads, they're useless. And that's what I found with me. Like when I hired my first VA, he was a great VA, and I almost wish I had a more fundamental knowledge of how to use Amazon and what brands I wanted to target. Like he would ask me, what do you think about my leads? And I wasn't giving him good enough feedback. And that's huge. Like you need to be providing feedback to a VA. You need to treat him like an employee. And something I saw from Soros, the owner of Arbitrage Ops, which is so true, is he said, like your VA is an extension of your business, and that's so true. I
Yep.
mean, your VA is only as good as you train them to be. And so even like outside of the VA conversation, because so many of our members aren't going to want to have a VA or cannot afford a VA or don't have interest in a VA, like that's out of the picture. But it's if you want to scale, like you just need to get the fundamental knowledge of selling on Amazon down first before you can do anything else. And that's, I mean,
Definitely.
that's huge. Yeah, like I don't know. Without that, you're lost. Like truthfully, you're lost. You cannot go from there. So
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I don't think there's really any real number that you need to like any revenue number or profit number that you need to hit before you say, "Oh, I should go get a VA."
Yeah.
But, learn the basics. Like you just said, a VA is an extension of yourself, of your business. If you don't know the fundamentals, how can you expect to teach someone who, is new to your business? It's the same with the prep center.
Yeah.
It's just like, put like spend some time in the trenches, spend some hours, spend some weekends prepping some units until you're physically at the point where you're like, okay, the opportunity cost of me prepping
Yep.
really does not outweigh me, like my time for buying more profitable inventory. Then you go and get a prep center. It's the same with like hiring a VA. If you're not doing 10, 20, 30K a month, whatever the hell it is, like I just said, the number's arbitrary.
Yeah.
But until you're really like seeing scale and then you're having trouble scaling that, then it's time for you to get a VA. Until then, stay in the trenches, put your head down and just work. Just do the boring stuff over and over and just stay consistent and just work.
Yeah.
There's no easy way around it.
Yeah, and to Zach's point about the orange bars and the spending and the sales, like that's something that it's so true, and I wish someone told me it earlier on. Is like these numbers of the 200K orange bars, the 500K orange bars, like those are so crazy and they look awesome, but you don't understand how much that actually is until you are
Yep.
just starting buying. Like I there was a sale last week and I spent 15K, and that was like the limit of one of my entire credit cards, and I was like, dude, like I feel like I was sitting there just buying, and I'm like, I just spent like 2 hours buying, and I feel like I just spent everything, and that's only going
Yeah.
to account for like 25K in sales. And it's like
Yep.
the idea is appealing of 300K a month or 300K a year, whatever it is on Amazon, but you don't understand how much that is until you are buying inventory. And obviously, hopefully, you're at a point then, like Marty just said, where you've kind of balanced out the time of packing these items is probably not worth your sourcing time. And so now what you can do is give that over to a prep center. But yeah, like the numbers look amazing. It's almost like NFTs. Like it looks like a fake number, and it gets scary because when you're not seeing this product, to Marty's point, when you're not seeing this product, it feels like NFTs. It feels like fake numbers on a screen. That's not what it is. So you want to like be sending out your own items for as long as you can, so you understand like this jacket, this Nike sweatshirt is tangible. It has a value to it, and I'm going to send it to a buyer.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's such a good way of like. I personally never even like thought of that. It's a good way of thinking of it because like, again, I can see what you mean. Like if you're starting out on Amazon, you've never even like shipped the unit yourself to a fulfillment center, then yeah, you have no sense of like, is this tangible or not? Like, is this real money? Is this like a big Ponzi scheme or some shit? But no, it's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
So this is a question I had kind of been thinking of yesterday. Like, what do you guys wish you did? So first of all, what did your Q4 look like this year? And what do you wish you did differently?
Great
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Great question.
So for me personally, I did about 35K in December. Yeah, I think like 35K revenue December. My margins were at like, I think like 20% or something, just because, again, Q4, your revenue and your profit's going to be a little bit boosted. For me, I do wish I hit 42K just because that would have put me at 100K year to date, but whatever. It's not a big deal. I wish that, so there were certain Lego sets. I bought like maybe like 6 to 8 different Lego sets. And, looking at the Keep It data from last year, every single set that I bought Amazon went out of stock
Yeah.
last year. But this year it was odd. Only like half of the Lego Aces that I bought, only half of them went out of stock. The other half, Amazon never went out of stock, and I'm just bag holding like a decent 3 or 4 different Lego sets that I went like 30 or 40 units deep in. So I think next year what I'll do is I'll probably spend like less money looking for those like out of stock Legos.
Yeah.
Just because again it is kind of playing with fire. It is a little bit unpredictable. I'll just more so try to work on just doubling down on things that have worked for me in 2023. That's what I'm gonna do. Just double down on things that are already working and just really capitalize on that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Zach, what about you?
Yeah, so I mean, this was basically my first real Q4 because I wasn't really even selling on Amazon. Like I was this time last year, but I wasn't like taking advantage of it. I didn't realize like the opportunity of Q4. Like it is crazy. Just like whatever you are selling probably sells like 2 to 3x more just because like volume wise. Just because like it's that time of year, as well as like there's just so much opportunity with like Black Friday sales and just everything going on sale that month before Christmas. Like I think I did like 65K in sales for December, like 12% profit. I wish, and like the majority, I'd say 65% of that was all from Black Friday sales.
Wow.
Totally wish I just went like 300% harder on all those sites.
Yeah.
Kohl's, Nike, just everything. Just Lego sets in general. Basically I sold out of like majority of stuff I was selling like probably the first week of December, like before the 10th. And it seemed like the super fire times for like stuff just moving absurdly fast is like December like 5th to like December like 17, 18.
Yeah.
I just saw like there's anything you have at FBA is basically selling if it's a decent lead. So definitely like just go harder for Q4 like next year around, and as well as just really just like I'm still like getting down a bunch of like my systems and processes. Like I've done like a decent like number amount in sales, but like that doesn't mean anything. Like I know people doing a quarter of my numbers that have like way better like systems and processes than I do. So like that's a huge thing for me this year. Like really dial in on all that stuff. Make it more like a business. Than just like than just like what I'm doing right now. Everything could definitely be ran like a lot tighter of a ship. Big goal for 2023. That's the cool thing about Amazon. It's you get what you put into it. Like if you want it to be a full-time side gig, like it totally works like that. Like you could work an hour a day, hour a week on it. If you want to work 12 hours a day on it, and make it your full-time job, you could do that too. It's pretty cool, like the flexibility of Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Going off of that too, it's like there's also just so many avenues and different business models that you can do. Like, you have people that are only doing books. You have people that are doing online arbitrage.
Yeah.
There's wholesale. There's private label. There's like, you can do anything that you really want. And you have the freedom to do it anywhere in the world from your laptop, from your phone. Like, it's just a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's unmatched for like any of the traditional reselling that a lot of our members are used to, where it's like we buy sports cards in bulk, sell them to like a local buyer. Like this is a completely different game. It's a completely different strategy. And something that's interesting about Amazon, kind of to Zach's point about like the systems and processes, is like sneakers in that industry, we saw like products, like there was one called Scout that came about, and it was a great product. It was almost like an inventory labs, but for sneaker reselling. And the problem is that we saw was that sneaker reselling never became scalable enough, at least from a bodder's standpoint, because it got too hyper competitive too quickly. And so what we saw was like a great tool like Scout couldn't really work like it should have, just at fault of external factors like botting became too competitive too quickly. What's cool about Amazon's like, and let me be clear, also sneaker related software was also far more expensive than Amazon software. And so I want to like kind of pick your brains on what software you guys use. Like I've explained Keepa, SellerAmp, SellerBoard to our members, but what's that look like for you guys? I'm assuming you guys have several different subscriptions, and they're really not that expensive when you look at how much value you're getting back.
They're not. I mean, dude, like honestly, especially if you're a beginner, all you need is Keepa and SellerAmp. Like, don't make it complicated. Yes, there's a ton of different softwares out there. You could get pretty fancy with it, but like still to this day, all I use are Keepa and SellerAmp. At least the source, Keepa and SellerAmp. That's all I use. And then, I have SellerBoard just to, track all my accounting and stuff like that. And then I pay. So those are all 20 a month. Keepa is 20, SellerAmp is 20, and then SellerBoard. That's also, so it's 20 a month for each of those.
Yep.
Again, if you're a business owner and you have your own Amazon business, it's a tax write-off at the end of the year. So it's really not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. And then I have a repricer that I pay $70 a month for. So a little bit more expensive, but again, the thing pays for itself. Like since actually like switching to a repricer, I save so much time not having to like scroll on like 40 different ASINs and like just meticulously like check, like someone's undercutting me by a cent, I gotta lower my price by 5 cents or whatever the hell. So I save time on that. And then it also just wins me buy box like way more than if I were to do it myself. So like I save time, and I'm also making more money because I'm winning buy box more, therefore I'm selling more. But again, like don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it and seller in. It's really all you need.
It's awesome. Zach, that's what you used to, right?
Yeah, so I'd say definitely for anyone in GFNF just getting started, SellerAmp and Keep is all you need. I do use a couple other ones. I also use Profit Protector Pro, the repricer. I also use RevSeller. It's just another extension. It's it's kind of similar to like the quick info tab of like Keepa, where it just shows like sales rank, has like a little like calculator for like P&L calculator, and just like a bunch of other stats. I just like cross-referencing like one, like SellerAmp will say a certain estimated sales a month. Another thing will say another estimated sales a month. Another software will say another one. So I like kind of cross-referencing. I use SellerAmp, RevSeller, and Helium 10 as like my like estimated sales, estimated like rank deal for that. And then like if you're trying to get into wholesale, two like great softwares are Smart Scout and Scan Unlimited. The one Smart Scout's $100 a month, Scan Unlimited it's $60 a month. RevSeller is $100 per year, so like I don't know, $10 a month.
Yeah.
And Helium 10 is $100 a month. But you only need Keepa and SellerAmp to get started for sure. Just those two. Anything you got to learn though. Learn Keepa.
Yeah,
that is the most important thing. Learn Keepa.
Yeah.
And like I keep it real. Like I'm not even the nicest with Keepa at all. Like I don't know it as well as I should. Like it's a super in-depth software. Like they have like you could really like dive into like some data on like a specific listing, like down to like what it's selling for, like the most like recent prices, like from people's like you could check like the buy box statistics, and it literally shows the price they sold and like the last time they won buy box. Like it gets like super in depth. And like there's a bunch of stuff that I didn't even know about Keepa, like up until just like these last couple months from just like my homies putting me on to stuff. I think
Guys
we're about
first started,
to
like
get
I know
flipped.
Marty. I mean, 100K would have been. This was your first year on Amazon, right? Like 2022.
Yeah, like first full year, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think you could have changed to get to your $100,000 goal?
Like, okay.
Do you think you weren't
That's a
buying
good
enough?
question.
Do you think like you just weren't buying quality leads? Like, what do you think was the problem?
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, part of it is just the simple fact of like, because I was in school for like 3/4 of the year, I didn't have the time or the capital to take it as serious as I wanted to.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna make an excuse and say that's the reason. It definitely plays into it.
Yeah.
But for me, I genuinely just think that, the past like 3 weeks or so, I've kind of just like been slacking with my sourcing. Really, just haven't been sourcing as much or just spending as much as I really should be. Which, again, just like we talked earlier, that's why your network is so important, because just having like a group of like 5 friends, or even one other person, it could literally be one other person. Like, it could literally just be like having Zach to say like, dude, like, I understand like you're slacking right now. Like, listen, like, he's gonna hold me accountable, and just really say to me like, just get off your ass, go to the computer, and go buy some inventory.
Yeah.
So that's like honestly like the best indirect factor of your network to me is, for me, it just keeps me motivated. God, I can't speak. Keeps me motivated, keeps me just held accountable, and so yeah, I would really just say it came down to that. I should have just spent more money. Honestly, should have just spent more money.
Yeah.
But I know going into 2023, I know just trust my gut, be confident, and just continue to spend money.
Yeah. And something about that, like with Amazon, it's different than like anything else we've been used to. Like NFTs, for example, like if you didn't mint a project, there's like 10 more mints the day after that you were fine. Like you forgot about the one that you didn't mint. With Amazon, what's interesting is like, if you don't do a lot of sourcing right now, like Marty just kind of explained, like he wish he did more sourcing. In the past few weeks, he's kind of been in a slump with not buying enough. The problem with it is you don't actually so you feel gross about it, right? You don't feel happy about it right now. But then also, like, you'll see that effect for the next 3-4 weeks because your numbers are going to be skewed. And the product you're buying, once you start buying again, you won't see that for a month or two. So it's like, there's this whole other conversation to be had about Amazon cash flow, and that's like an entirely different conversation. But that's like a huge strategy because you'll feel gross about something today as far as not buying enough, but you're not actually going to see like the monetary effect until 2-3 weeks later.
Which is only going to make it worse. If you're already feeling bad anyways, like in 2 weeks when your sales are like really down bad, it's only going to be worse.
Yeah.
So,
and that's something Zach's
really,
put me onto. It's just like momentum, like just keeping that momentum.
Yes.
Like once you have it, just continue going. Even if you're not like buying things every day, just like building a system or putting something in place that just gives you more leverage to build your Amazon business, I think is huge, because once you lose it, and I think this is something like I had seen on one of Miles' podcasts or something, is like once you lose that momentum, it's really tough to get it back without having a crazy month or a crazy Q4.
Definitely.
Yeah. I want to go over like replens because you guys had both mentioned that, and I don't think a lot of our members understand what a replen is. So like from my understanding, a replen is just an item that you guys know like you can consistently rely on to buy, repurchase, resell, right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, that's basically it, yeah.
Yeah, and so like when you guys were first looking for replens, was there a strategy you adopted? Did you find better luck like reverse sourcing, where you were looking at someone's storefront and seeing like, hey, they had these lifesaver gummies for this price, and they're on Walmart for cheaper? Like, is that how you found them, or what strategy did you guys take?
That's a good question.
So for me, I find often it's not as much like a certain item is a replen. Like only shoes or like only sweatshirts or only like this certain type of item is a replen. Like I find it's more the case of everything sells on Amazon. It's just like, is that retailer staying in stock? Like for me, for my example, I like a year ago, I was doing like 150K months selling only 4 or 5 ASINs that were all replens. And again, like it's not like it's a certain type of item. It's just like it just happened to be on stock in Best Buy and Walmart those couple months. And I just kept being able to buy it over and over and over until like they eventually went out of stock on that main website. So like for me, it kind of just comes down to like I guess like stock. Yeah, this is a tough question.
Yeah, like I know we get what you're saying though. Like those products just happen to be in stock for longer than other products, and so that's what made it a replen. But if those products went out of stock the first time you bought them, like that would have just been a normal lead.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like those are the types of things that I just like to clarify for members because, like, we could throw around the term replen or OA or keepa, but like that's, these are all different things that people have to learn about.
Yeah.
A question I had for you guys is like, so you guys, we walked through everyone's like 2022, their numbers, and kind of what your goal is, but like what strategy are you guys taking and what's your actual goal for 2022? Like Marty's had his 2021 goal. Where do you guys want to be this time when we're having a conversation a year from now?
That's a good question. Where do I want to be a year from now? Well, personally, I would like to be doing this full time. I'd really like to be doing this full time and just have total, control of my life, control of, my freedom, stuff of that nature. My, rough goal of mine is I want to do 400 to 500K revenue for 2023. Off that, I want to profit like 100K. If I can do that, I'll be more than happy, going to my job and saying, okay, I don't need this. I can do Amazon full time and be more than sufficient. So that's honestly like it's goal of mine, I'd say.
Yeah, awesome. As Zach would say, you want a piece out of your job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach? What are your goals? You said wholesale, but what's your strategy there?
Yeah, so I mean, I still work a ton in my business myself. Definitely gonna do as much as I can to take myself out of as much of the daily tasks, like sourcing, buying. Mainly, I really want to just build like a good 3-person team this year. Like right now, I just have one VA that is a sourcer. Really want to like get a lot closer with him, train him better, bring on a buyer just to like buy items too, and then just like a general admin just to do like some basic like prep center uploading, just like really like basic stuff. I'm definitely more focused on like building my systems and processes this year, as opposed to like I want to do like a couple million revenue.
Yeah.
Main goal is like get these systems in place, and then all that'll come. But yeah, slowly but surely, just this year goal turn it more into a real business. And take myself out of it a little bit more. Just to free up time for other ventures. Yeah, just systems and processes and probably like 2 mil rev goal.
That's exciting.
4x what I did this year.
Good man. Good man.
And
Yes,
Zach,
sir.
Can you explain more about like what a VA is to our members? I mean, I understand it, Marty understands it, but like when you're gonna go look for a VA or your current VA,
is there something else I can help with?
Siri knows.
Yeah,
Siri knows.
She doesn't know what a VA is.
Yeah, Siri knows what a VA is. So, but like Zach, you're gonna go on like onlinejobs.ph. You're gonna like try to find someone who knows one of your VAs, right, to work for you. Is that how you'll do it?
Yeah. So real quick, VA is just a virtual assistant. All companies use these. Like American Express's customer service
Yeah.
is outsourced to virtual assistants in other countries. So it's just an employee from another country that is virtual, usually from Pakistan, the Philippines, India, all over the place, really. Generally, you can pay them a lower wage compared to like an American salary, but like some of these VAs are making hand over fist,
Yeah.
like what they are normally making in their country. Like, for example, my first virtual assistant was a lady out of the Philippines. And before she started working with me, she was making anywhere from $5 to $6 USD per day working at this fast food place for anywhere from 10 to 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
She was getting fucking more than 50 cents an hour.
Yeah.
So, and I was paying her $5 off the rip. So she was
Per
literally
hour.
making
Yeah.
10x what she was doing. And it changed her life. Like it literally changed her life. She had like kids and stuff. So it's a super cool thing. A lot of people come in hot and like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You're only giving them $5 an hour. But like that $5 an hour is 10x their normal
It could be
salary.
life-changing for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, totally. So it's just, you go on these websites, onlinejobs.ph, is a popular one, Upwork, Fiverr, and like we were saying before, like this is where like you want to know the basics of Keepa, and you want to know the basics of what makes a good product or a bad product. So when you hire, like when you just like, first off, you got to make a job description for these websites, just a little write-up of what the title is, what you want them to do, your expectations, etc. And really, it's just like as you would hire someone for any other job. You want to interview them, ask them their experience, see like what like their niche is, like how like you guys could work together, and really like your VA is only as good as you are at sourcing. So if you're a mediocre sourcer, you're not going to know if they're sending you bad leads or not. That's like why we were saying, like, you definitely need to have like a pretty good general idea of how to run Amazon before you get a VA. Because I mean, I've done it myself back in the day. Like I've tried to get a VA before I needed one. And I heard it on a podcast today. It was just like, you're almost like creating problems that like don't exist.
Yeah.
So like you wanna be able to like source yourself, so like you can, like McKay was saying before, like you could give these virtual assistants feedback, like, oh, I like this, oh, I don't like that, like can we start looking at these brands of products, like I want to start moving from clothing to electronics, or like whatever the case may be. Really like don't get a VA if you don't know the basics of Amazon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like it's crucial. But like again, like no one's probably like getting a VA without knowing the basics. But a ton of people always ask, like, oh, like what's the first thing I should do? Like get a virtual assistant? Like, no, learn the basics.
Yeah. No, that's a great point.
Start your seller account is the first thing.
Yeah, that's the first thing you gotta do.
Account.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I talked to someone named Raj. He's been in GFNF for a long time, and he's crushing Amazon right now. And he's one of those guys who, if you had looked at him like, 6-8 months ago, like back or maybe a year ago, like he was just always ahead. He was always early on new categories that were emerging. So it makes sense that he crushed it on Amazon. And that's kind of something consistent I've noticed. Like the guys who were crushing it in sneakers 2 years ago are crushing it on Amazon right now. It's just like they have that dog in them. Like they've got something in them that just pushes them, right? And something he had told me, and he just had like I don't think I should say the number, but it was a crazy profit month, Q4. And he was just telling me how he's going to look to hire a VA, but his VA, he doesn't want the VA sourcing. Like Zach had said, his VA is just going to be for administrative tasks because his favorite part is sourcing, and that's working best. And it's like Zach had just said, like, why would he break something that's already working or create more problems for himself if, he's crushing it doing the sourcing himself, and he can hand out the tasks of sending stuff over to a prep center and like managing and making sure profits and losses are accounted for accordingly. Like all of that can be thrown onto a VA and you can still do the sourcing. So it's important to note that like VAs are multifaceted. You don't need a VA just to be doing sourcing for you. A VA is just any arm of your business being able to automate it to a certain point where your time is more valuable than that task.
Definitely.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Do you guys have anything else? I mean, we literally just went through what you guys did this year, what tools you've used. Like, I can't think of another question I want to ask you guys where it's like, I feel like for a new Amazon seller, this podcast was incredibly useful because it just kind of puts into perspective, like, these numbers look nice in our success channel. The bars look nice, but like you need to be buying. There's processes you need to put in. And like Marty said, like both of you said, you cannot be afraid to spend, like spend, but don't blindly spend. Don't blindly find like replens. If something's just in stock forever, that doesn't make it a replen. That means it might not be good. So you need to understand how to use Keepa to make sure, okay, this is like a replenishable item because it'll sell after I buy it. You know what I mean? But Definitely. Do you guys have anything else to add?
I guess the only other, just off the top of my head,
the
other thing that I could really like think of is like, this is going to be different for everyone. Like me personally, when I see someone post their numbers, to me, it kind of motivates me. If I see someone that's doing like $1 million in revenue in like a year, or they're just doing crazy numbers, like for me personally, that motivates me. So like, if you're the same way, if seeing that motivates you, then you know what, run with it. If you're, on the other hand, you're someone that kind of gets discouraged from that, you see someone doing $1 million revenue and you look at that and you kind of say, oh shit, like, there's no way I could do this.
Yeah.
Just really just try not to look at it like that. Like you have to understand, like, everyone started somewhere. Everyone's business model is different. Everyone's profit margins are different. Everyone's doing different stuff. So it's really just like, if that's you, keep your head down, focus on your business, focus on you, focus on what you can change, and the rest will fall into place. That I promise you.
Yeah. Zach, any final thoughts?
Specifically for like GFNF members.
Yeah.
Like there's for sure a reason like McKay saw like what's going on Amazon. Like you guys have seen sneakers, NFTs, pools. A lot of this stuff comes and goes kind of. And Amazon, from my experience at least, it's definitely something that there's a lot more longevity to Amazon than a lot of the other stuff I've seen in the space. With that being said, it isn't as easy as minting an NFT and flipping it within 5 minutes. There's definitely, you gotta lay the groundwork for yourself, and like it's really just learning the basics. I know I probably said it 97 times on this call, but
it's true though. It's true.
Once you learn that stuff, it could compound quick. Me and McKay talk about it all the time. Like there's guys in GFNF that are coming off their first couple months that are doing like 4, 5, 6x the numbers that I'm doing, and I've been selling on Amazon for 2 years now. Mm-hmm. And it's just like everything is possible. Really, just get started. Just get started. There's no reason not to. Like if you see some homie success pick, like there's no reason that can't be you in a couple months.
Definitely.
It's not even a high barrier to entry for Amazon, but like if you get your foot in the door and you're actually a hard worker, like there's a ton to be made and learn about Amazon, because at the end of the day, it is just like it is like a real business. Like, I mean, you could treat it as a side gig, work a couple hours a week, but like you want to put like your all into it and like make it a full-time business, you totally can. But that's pretty much it.
That's awesome.
That's all I got.
Just watch some YouTube vids. if there's anything that you guys are unsure of or you don't know, I mean, one, feel free to DM me. You know, any of the three of us. I'm sure you guys don't. You know, you guys don't mind helping people out, but you know, feel free to shoot us a DM. But also, again, just YouTube. YouTube's gonna be your best friend. Like that's how I learned like 80 to 90% of everything that I've learned through Amazon was YouTubing stuff, watching some vids, talking to some other people in the space, and just you know, playing around with stuff my own. You're not gonna learn unless you know, get your feet wet, create your Amazon account, learn how to use Keepa and SellerAmp, and just get to work. Honestly.
Yeah.
Just put the hours in and get to work.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like in GFNF, like we've got extensive introduction guides to Amazon and video guides on all these tools, but one thing that YouTube will give you that no group or Discord group will give you is like watching these guys source. Like Miles has amazing videos and like just sitting there sourcing and just sitting there like looking through and just being able to see what his thought process is through that is infinitely valuable. Like there's an exponential return on that. And it's also entertaining. Like there's so many good Amazon YouTube creators who are just like explaining what their thought process is. And once you get into the thought process perspective, it's like, and you're in like Miles' head, FBA Miles, if you guys don't know, or Miles FBA, like he's like, I'd say like one of the biggest YouTubers, right, for Amazon content.
I think so.
Yeah.
If not like the biggest.
Yeah.
If you're in Amazon, like you know who Miles is.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Miles.
And the
Shout
reason
out to
for that is
Miles.
he's just like, yeah, his thought process works. It's so good. It's simple.
Yep.
His strategy works. He uses tools like we just talked about for, you know, an hour, and he's just scaled his business accordingly. So, gosh, I mean, yeah, that was a great point, Marty. Do you guys want to like promote your Instagram or your Twitter where people can find you?
Yeah, I mean that's just my handle right there, at FBA Marty. Toss me a follow, check out the page. If any of you guys watching this have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to shoot me a DM. I'm always like happy to help people. Always.
That's awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
Marty.
Yeah, same here, guys. If you know me or if you don't know me, Z-Sodes and GFNF. Think I'm still Purple Sup Duck.
Yeah.
Is the profile pic. But yeah, and just Zach Sedano on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, my DMs are always open, always down to chop it up with sellers big and small.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm here for the homies.
Z-Sodes is one of the final GFNF staff members who are actively rocking an NFT profile picture. So I think he's just gonna, just for life now, it's just a Sup Ducks profile picture.
He's still a believer.
Yeah, still a believer. Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Thank you, McKay.